Hi everybody, we're going to find the equation of the secant line. This is your formula. And basically we first want to, this is our equation, and we want to find the secant line to this quadratic equation. So the first thing we're going to do is find the average rate of change, which is given by this formula. And basically we could call this x to c. In calculus they call it c. But it's just like saying x1 to the second x to x of 2. So basically we want to know the average rate of change here. So from here to wherever this goes to. So basically what we're going to do is just find the slope of this. So find the average rate of change, which is like finding the slope. So what we're going to do is plug in g of -2 minus g of 1 over -2 minus 1. And g of -2 is 2 minus, you're just plugging this number into there. -2 squared is 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. And g of 1 is 1 squared minus 2 is -1 over -2 minus 1. So the numerator is going to be 3 and the denominator is going to be -3. So that gives you -1, which equals the average rate of change of the secant line, or the slope. Okay? Now, we already found g of -2, which was what? 2. And we already found g of 1, which was -1. And so all we have to do now is write the equation of the line. So what you're doing is what you did in Algebra 1. So this is, my slope is -1x plus b. I plug in one of these points, this one or this one. Take your pick. I'll go ahead and plug in this last one. So my y is -1 equals -1 times 1 plus b. So I get -1 equals -1 plus b. So b is 0. So the equation of my secant line is y. So you just plug the 0 back into the b here. So y equals -x. So -x is right here. I'm going to just draw y equals -x. It goes up through here. And it goes down through here. So this goes down here. And this is the average rate of change from here to there. Okay? And the other problems I'm going to do are the same thing. I didn't want to type them all. So we're going to do the average rate of change from -2 to 1 on all of these. So I'm going to use the same equation, and I want to find the average rate of change from -2 to 1. So the first thing I want to find is g of -2, which is -2 squared plus 1, which is 5. And I need to find g of 1. So that's going to be 1 squared plus 1, which equals 2. So these are my x's. This is like you're going x to c, or you can say x1 to x of 2. So basically, when I have -2, when x was -2, my y is 5. And when I had 1, I got 2. So we'll do this. You can just do the slope formula. So we have the slope of the secant line is, I'm just going to 2 minus 5 over 1 minus a negative 2. So this gives me negative 3 over 3, which gives me negative 1 again. And then I just have to write my equation of the secant line. So y equals negative 1x plus b. And I pick one of these points, either this one or this one. And I'm going to pick this one, so I'll pick this one. So y is 2 equals negative 1 plus b. So my b equals 3. Therefore, the equation of my secant line is y equals negative x plus 3. Okay? Negative x plus 3. So recall what we're doing. We're going from negative 2 to 1. So we're hitting right here, and we're hitting right here at 5. So this point here was 1, comma 2. This point here was negative 2, comma 5. And my y-intercept is 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going, the slope is negative 1. So it's hitting here. It's hard to draw on this. So just like it goes through there. And there's your equation of the secant line that goes through the curve. Okay. The next one, same thing. We're going to go from negative 2 to 1, which is x to c. And I'm just going to plug in g of negative 2 and g of 1. When I plug in negative 2, I get 0. When I plug in 1, I get negative 3. So basically, when I plugged in negative 2, I got 0. And when I plugged in 1, I got negative 3. And you just use your slope formula. You just use basic slope formula here. So we're going to do negative 3 minus 0 over 1 minus a negative 2. That gives me negative 3 over 3. We're getting a lot of negative 1s. So my slope is negative 1. So my equation is y equals negative 1x plus b. I have to find my b. So I think this time I will plug in this one. My y is 0 equals negative 1 times negative 2 plus b. So 0 equals 2 plus b. So b is negative 2. So my equation is y equals negative x minus 2. There's your equation, your secant line. Y equals negative x minus 2. And then recall, we're finding from negative 2 to 1. So there's where it hit. This point here was negative 2, 0. This point here was 1, negative 2. And so my y-intercept is negative 2. My slope is negative 1. Let me do a different color. It's going up here and down. I didn't draw this very good. Down to here. And there's your equation of the secant line. Okay, next one. Same thing. We're going to go from negative 2 to 1, or x to c. So I'm plugging in negative 2, and that will give me 7. And when I plug in 1, I get 4. So basically, negative 2 is paired with 7, and 1 is paired with 4. Use your slope formula, which is the slope of the secant line, or average rate of change. So I get 4 minus 7 over 1 minus a negative 2, which gives me negative 3 over 3. Here we go, negative 1 again. Negative 1. Then I write my equation. Plug in one of these. I'll choose this one. Looks easier. So b equals 5. So my equation is y equals negative x plus 5. Right? So again, we're going from negative 2 to 1. Recall, negative 2 was paired with 7, and negative 1, what was it paired to? 4? Yeah, 4. And you can see it here. My y-intercept, is y equals negative x plus 5. So 3, 4, 5. And the slope is negative 1. And there's your equation of the secant line. And that's all. These are basic ones. These are the simplest ones to see. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye-bye.